Let's have a look at my second ever 8-bit computer. Now this is a Commodore Plus 4, probably not that widely known, not as much as the Commodore 64 or even the VIC-20 or Commodore 16, which is its close sibling. But the Plus 4 was a 64K machine, and it was developed, believe it or not, for business. So that's why it kind of looks the way it does, these little cursor keys here. It had a built-in office kind of suite, very basic, not very usable at all. But Commodore had a go and they wanted to try to do some things different. So this will not run Commodore 64 games, it will only run Commodore Plus 4 or Commodore 16, and majority are Commodore 16. So it's from the 264 series of Commodore machines, and it's powered by the infamous brick. Now the reason why I've got this out of storage is it's not been switched on for quite some time, so I just wanted to give it a go, see if it still works. So it looks pretty nice. It's not my original machine, so this is one that I've bought in the meantime, so I've owned this for quite some time, but not used it. It's more of something to kind of look at for me rather than use from day to day, but it is quite a fun machine to get working. Now it's not bad condition actually, not got any particular discoloration or anything. The main thing you've got to be aware of with these machines though is when you power them up, it's all to do with the power. So the power connector is a different shape kind of socket to what you see on the 64, but it's got, I think, the same kind of pin out. So let's hold up a reference here. So what we have is we've got AC 9 volts which go across these two pins here, and then these two lower pins are the DC plus 5 volts, and this one being the ground. So that's positive, that's the ground, and then obviously AC is the same on both of those. So the 5 volt is to drive the tape drive, okay, which also fits into one of these. I think, yeah, this one says cassette, the one that looks a little bit more worn. There's a couple of joystick ones in there, memory expansion, some other expansion, printer, sort of serial. It's got a dedicated kind of video out there, and the way I'll be testing it is through its, or out of its RF, going into a standard old school TV with a tuner. Alright, now the first thing I need to do is look at the power bricks I've got. I don't want to blow up anything in the Plus 4. I've got two to hand, so I'll probably have a spare one, and this one mentions burning something, is that 1985? 20th of November 1985, quite possibly. Now these are all solid kind of sealed units. If you were to break this down, it would, I think, just be kind of sealed in some sort of resin. So they did used to kind of overheat and cause issues, and I guess everything inside would break down over time. It has got a fuse, but I'm not aware that this fuse would do anything to save your computer. So if there was a major fault in this, I think your computer would probably get blown in some way as well. So the main thing I've got to test is whether or not the output is correct on those pins. So let's turn it on. So I've got to hold that this way to match up with the way that the pins are. I'm looking for 5 volts on the bottom, and this one here is positive. Yep, it's a bit over 5.29 volts. So not 10%, but it is a little bit over. So the other voltage is AC. Yeah, 9. That's 9 volts. Okay, that looks stable. Is it worth me testing the other one while I'm here? I have got plans to make my own power supply. So I've got a 9 volt AC standalone adapter. I was just going to use a kind of like a USB 5 volt phone charger for the 5 volts supply, so that's what I was going to use for that. I'm going to start with the 9 volts first. So this is a bit tricky to do like this. Well, that looks good as well. 9.4, that looks to be similar, and we just put that to voltage. I'm going to turn that up the other way, positive in that corner. And that's 5. That's actually reading, in my mind, a little bit better. It's got on 5. So let's use this one. So there is a on and off switch on the actual side here. It kind of allows you to do some reset stuff as well. So there's a reset there, and I think if I remember rightly, you hold a key in, it might be, was it run stop? And then you flick that out and you can go into like the assembler. It had like an assembler part. And that's this kind of old school connection. Nice long cable on this. They didn't scrimp on that, which is good. Okay. Yeah, shall we just see if it turns on? I'm just going to raise this up slightly. There you go. Light on. And I now have to try the menu system and try to tune in. Oh, that power supply is starting to sound a bit noisy. I think I might turn it off. Yeah, that's. It was on for a little while, and then it started to hum. Now they might all do that. I can't remember. So I'm gonna put the first one on again. That noise could be where it's breaking down a little bit. See if that one's any different. And there is the famous screen seen on many emulators available as alternatives. So what's this? 3+1 malarkey. There we go. So it's almost like a poke, isn't it? A sys 1525 to start that up. And there it is. Oh, it's 1984. I'm just going to test these keys. Oh, I don't think they need lots of pressing to work, unfortunately. I wonder if we can load a game up. Shall we try that? Now this power supply here is very quiet compared to the other one. So I think the other one is the one I'm going to sacrifice for the connector, because it's already sounding like it's breaking down somewhat. So these are the infamous Commodore tape loaders, these big kind of chunky cassettes. You can only use them for one thing, so not very multi-purpose. This one's a little bit marked. So my idea is to try to load something up. And I will need to just come out of here. So I'm just going to reset. Okay. I'm going to test this first, see if it actually plays. Okay, it does. Can you see in there? It's probably quite a thick bout actually. Good. One less job. Taking that apart. Now the cassettes, I'm really not sure if they're going to be any good still, because they've not been kept in the best storage container. Alright, this one used to drive everybody mad. It was one of the pack of 10 sort of free cassettes that came with the Commodore. So this is Exorcist. This had a really kind of annoying but addictive sound to it. So alright, I need to delete. Right, clear home now. I'm having trouble with the keyboard, so we want to go load. Oh, really having to press on some of these. Let's try that. So you go load and then quotation marks. You don't have to put a name in. You can put a name in if you've, say, got a tape of games and you want to load a certain one up, programs. But this one, yeah, we're just going to go with the first one. So now the inbuilt saving and loading was very slow. If the tapes weren't altered to basically load another loader program, like a turbo kind of load, then it would take a long old time to load some games. So the default save and load is very slow, probably like dial-up slow or worse. So they created various turbo loaders, which is what it should load to start with, and then once it's loaded that into memory, it can then load the quicker kind of baud rate off the tape of the data. So this is what we're see now. And they also used to present screens as well in the loading. So you'll see a screen appear for the sort of turbo load games like this. Yeah, it's called Nova Load, this one. There were a few different ones, but it's a little bit spectrumy, the colours there. So that's the data, the sounds on the cassette that it's loading. I don't know if I've got the volume set on this set. We'll see in a minute. It should be pretty quick though. Obviously 16K is not a huge amount, probably less than that anyway, of usable memory for the game. So this is 40 years old. Oh, we don't have any sound. Okay. Have we got sound somewhere? Oh, it's me turning the screen off. And there's the infamous screen. Can I play this with... So if I can play this for keyboard, probably it might only be... Oh yeah, we can, keyboard. But I don't know which ones... Oh, it is like cursors. Oh, you gotta be quick on this game. Ah, press the wrong ones. They don't make games much, you know. Oh, the down's not working very well. That's why I keep getting killed. That's my excuse anyway. Have I got this set to like the hardest level or something? Oh, I meant to shoot. No, what was it? Shift. They keep away from you when you got that. Okay. So you got to light this up before you go to the next room, basically. Ah, I meant to go in there. Oh, and that... Why can't it... Oh, it's not working. Anyway, I think you get the idea. So you can get out of it very easy by pressing that button. Let's try something I think I got a bit further on actually. This is called Kickstart. This was a 199 Mastertronic range, so these were about £2 back in the day. 1984. What is that in today's money with inflation? Problem is the delete's not working. Or it is, just about. Okay, let's try that. Press play. Alright, so this is Kickstart Off-Road Simulator. There. There we go. So we can speed it on by pressing button. Yeah, the Commodore button. That's right, it's all coming back to me now. So I did write some very basic games for this computer. as a teenager, and one of them I basically fixed, and it was a very basic horse racing game, and I had a key combination that only I knew, which meant that whatever horse I chose, if I followed it with a certain key combination, that horse would always win its race. So I would often have family members over to put a few pennies on the horses, and I seemed to always win, which was very strange. But anyway, it was good fun. So this is Sean Southern. This is 1986 Kickstart. Mr. Chip Software. Okay, time to give this a go then. What keys? Fire button to jump, or use keys 3, 4, accelerate, decelerate, T's jump, 3 and 4 and T. Okay. Well, at least these keys are working, so stand more of a chance. Well, you got balloons you can pop now. It's a little bit awkward doing this at an angle actually. I'm not facing it directly, this screen. Pretty cool, isn't it? It feels like it's not that responsive. Yeah, look at that. Bit too keen there, a bit too fast. Ah, should have pressed the wrong key, wanted to go fast. Like that. Oh, buses. Way, that's good. Ah, spinny things that kill you. You can see my lives are running out. Oh, it's terrible, isn't it? This is very painful for anyone to watch. Sorry about that. Okay, enough of that. Let's try taking this apart. So stop this. Now, it's warming up slightly, but it's not making that noise. So I think we can safely say that if you've got one of these Commodores and you've tested the voltages, they seem okay, then you're probably okay to run it, but just bear in mind any noise that you hear, any kind of faint sort of noise coming from the power supply probably indicates a slight breaking down, so there may be a reason to to turn that off quite quickly really, because you want to save your computer. Ideally though, you do want a proper dedicated up-to-date supply for these, because they're quite valuable now, aren't they, and you don't really want to run a risk. But what I'm going to do is turn it off and try taking this apart. I just want to see if it's easy to access the keyboard and just see if there's anything I can clean. So I'm guessing there's like a membrane underneath these keys, so it's a nice decent keyboard actually, but because it's been in storage, it's not been used, there's some oxidation that's gone on, I think. So that's what I'm going to do, just try to give it a bit of a clean up. As far as I'm aware, this hasn't ever been taken apart. Well, not by me anyway. So no fancy screws, just box standard screws. They don't need to be the same size. Okay, so that should be 5 there. Yeah. I'm terrible for working in a mess. Confined space. Try to make a little bit more room. And there is about 40 years of dust in there, mainly in the back though. Now it does have a fuse here, but I'm aware that this doesn't always blow, and you're more likely to see some of these below. And I'm aware that you can get replacements for some of them. I don't know if all of them are replaceable, but there's quite a good market for new chips. Well, there's a lot of old school capacitors on here. There's a few kind of old ones here, but there's not many, is there? Wow. Now I think it may be worth me investing in a way to cool this down a little bit more. So I've got a feeling that some people do use heat sinks on some of these chips. I'll have to Google that, or someone in the comments could perhaps let me know. So the keyboard, it just looks to be screwed in with many screws. So I've not been on YouTube to look at any other videos for doing this. I presume that there probably are some, but to me it looks fairly obvious. So what we have here is the keyboard is mounted in the plastic case. So these bigger screws are holding the full keyboard with the keys into the actual case. Now this board, which is the kind of, I did say it was like a membrane board, but that's like the PCB. This is held to the keyboard by lots of little screws. So that's stopping me lifting this keyboard up. Just need to do a little bit of desoldering there. Now I don't want to take this off and lose the keys. And the keys could fall into the wrong, well, I don't want to mess up the placement of the keys. So if I take this metal off, the keys are all going to drop out. Now I don't know why this just doesn't come up, because it doesn't look like it should be stuck there really. But obviously don't want to give it too much of that. Why something's not, let me take that out. Be so careful here. As you can see, I had trouble snipping that, and that's because I ruined my snippers trying to cut through greater than, I guess, 1 mil metal on a different, in a different project. So I'll have to order replacements. But anyway, this is the insides. Maybe a bit of a spillage at some point. Let's have a look at the other side. Yeah, you can see where it needs a good clean. And a little bit cleaning up to do on this side. Time to shift over. Just checking to see what's coming off. Yeah, there's a bit of muck coming off actually. See? Surprising. Well, I'm going to need a system here. I think I need to work my way row by row. Right, you're joining me on the last one. I might just do a couple more again. Suppose I could swap these over, couldn't I? They're the same size. And they've been pressed a lot less. And let's do that. So let's just see if I can get these out now. Let's move this out of the way. Just warming up the soldering iron now, because I've put all these screws back in. Just about prepped it all ready for the solder. Right, time to switch it on. Time to do a keyboard test. So I'm going to start from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Plus, minus, equals. Clear home. Instant delete. Control, escape, yeah, okay, so Q, let's just return, Q, W-E-R-T-Y, U-I-O-P at pounds, star, asterisk, A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, D, yeah, Z, X, C, like that. Keyboard seems to be working fine. So can I go load really quickly and go shift? Oh, nice. Okay, it's like new. It is like new. All right, I'm gonna escape that. There you go, reset. I was hoping to get one of my old games on here, one that I wrote myself, but I cannot find the cassettes that have the games on, so they've not been used for a long time, and they don't seem to be with the cassettes that have got the standard games on, so that's a bit unfortunate for this video. So at least I've been able to show you how I went about getting the keyboard to work again, and also a little bit on the power supplies, in that you definitely want to run with a silent one. If you've got one that's buzzing or humming a little bit, then it's probably wise to switch that off and make your own power supply, your brand new power supply. So that's my kind of advice on the Commodore Plus 4 for now. I'm going to go away and I'm going to have a look for my old cassettes with some games on that I wrote. I'm also going to go away and read about maybe some heatsink ideas, because there's no fan on this, and I really want to preserve this computer and help it last a few more years yet. So I'm going to be looking at that, and finally I'm also going to be making my own power supply for it. So as I mentioned before, I've already sourced the adapter for the 9V AC. A 5V one is pretty standard. It'll be quite easy to find one of those. So really I just need to find a container that's probably a similar size to this but without the wedge. It's like a square which will hold both power supplies in, and essentially I'll just drive it from the standard wire. So I'm going to sacrifice the one that's humming because I think that one hasn't obviously got long to go, and I wouldn't want anyone else to end up using that. So thank you for joining me on this video. Please can you like and subscribe, and I will endeavour to do some more videos in the future. Bye for now.